Oye, pero. Ya, entonces sí, vamos a ver. Déjame ver qué es lo que está pasando con esta silla aquí. Déjame ver. Déjame una cosa.
Sí, sí.
Ay, wow, qué rico.
Pablo Sánchez. El pasaporte.
Diantre.
Pablo Sánchez Montero, el pasaporte le quedó aquí.
Coño, Pablo. Coño, Pablo.
Agent 17 in the building. Salute, my brother. Yo, this what I'm dealing with right now, my people. Look. At the airport, man. This thing is never fun. Never a fun party.
Where's the bathroom, though? Yo creo que hay un baño.
Agent 17, we on the same boat, bro. Look, after the fight, I waited for somebody that was gonna pick me up to take me for the airport. The airport was like almost a 3-hour drive. We got here and we've been waiting and doing the lines and all this stuff. So it's been crazy, man. When we get in the plane, I'll fall asleep for sure. So, my peoples, the fight yesterday, you know, a lot of people got caught by surprise. What an upset. Subriel Matias, man. People expected that he was going to win by knockout and that he was going to play out a certain way. And it didn't, bro. Did not. Agent 17. I'm surprised, too. I have Matias. You should... Bro, you know me already for a long time. You should have been listening to me, Agent 17. Like I've been telling you. But I gotta say, man, listen, Dalton Smith showed a level of toughness that people just didn't realize he had. Because if you think about it, this guy traded some nasty leather with Suriel Matías. ¿Dónde que estamos ubicados? ¿Estamos desubicados?
No, lo que son para adelante.
¿Ah?
Lo que son para adelante. But we start boarding actually at 7:50.
7:15?
7:50.
50? Oh, shit. Let's take a chair then. Let's make sure we... Oye. Vamos a estar aquí un rato a las 7:50, que es el vuelo de nosotros. Ah, pues qué bueno que tenemos esta sillita, por lo menos.
Teníamos que estar como en la fila.
So, my peoples, listen. Yesterday, what made it interesting is that I was hanging out with my Puerto Rican brothers, and obviously they was all rooting for Subriel Matias. So I was the guy that was like, yo, listen, I got Dalton Smith winning this fight. And that's the way that it played out. That's the way the cookie crumbled. A lot of people, listen, when Dalton Smith stopped Subriel Matias, a lot of people thought about me first. It don't matter everything else, they thought about JSmiff. Like, damn, man, Jay told me Dalton Smith was going to pull off the upset. Should have listened to me. Should have listened to me. And I got to say this, man. There was... Yesterday was funny because my boys, you know, they had Subriel winning the fight. They was rooting for him. And when Dalton started, like, teeing off, like, dropping bombs on Subriel, you could see everybody was shocked, like. And then at the end of the fight, that was hilarious to me. At the end of the fight, my people were like, yo, but it's kind of strange that Dalton was able to take all that power where nobody has. And no, it was a shot to the back of the head. He's cheating. Like the excuses were on deck, ready to go. Agent 17, I haven't heard much of him, but my dad met him the other day, and he's a boxing commentator. Al Bernstein, JSmiff. Do you know Al Bernstein? Yes. I mean, I don't know him, but I know who he is. Ya, vamos a la fila. Yeah, my people, look at the line. Look at this line. I'm gonna show y'all, man. This is crazy out here. Look at this. Damn, man, why all these people gotta fly the same day I'm flying? Ya antes. Bueno, por lo menos disfrutamos. Un ratico ahí.
La felicidad del pobre dura poco.
Cónchale, man. Es que muchas veces la gente se desespera cuando ven esta fila. Pero no hay que desesperarse porque en realidad es que todos vamos para el mismo lado. No es como que el avión va a despegar con ellos y nos va a dejar nosotros. My peoples, this airport is loaded. Look, look. I'm going all the way to the back of this line. Golly. Jesus Christ, God Almighty. Max. Bam. Yo, but where's the people who said Subriel Matias was gonna knock Dalton Smith out? Where y'all at? It seems like a lot of people's missing. I'm trying to figure out where's the people that said Dalton Smith was a cherry pick and Dalton Smith was gonna be made to look easy. Y'all watch Subriel Matias get his ass whooped. I try to tell you, man, you should have listened to me. Should have listened to me. Look at this. Shit, man. That's the one thing. When you're in the airport, you're gonna stand for a long time. Your feet gonna hurt. Agent 17, I definitely didn't see a KO. I thought Matias would get a decision. Dalton Smith is slept on. I mean, I would say Dalton Smith was slept on. I don't think after yesterday, people are going to sleep on him anymore. And look. A lot of people slept on Dalton Smith. But obviously, if I predicted that he was going to win the fight, I wasn't sleeping on him. And it's like I said, the main factor for me to say or to predict that Dalton was going to win is the versatility. That's it right there. Damn, my people, this airport is super, super crowded right now. I said it before, the difference was going to be the versatility. Because that one gear Subriel has, he's gonna apply the pressure and he's gonna land some big shots. But it's one gear. When you have a skilled fighter, who can box, who can fight, who can counterpunch, who has good footwork, it's a problem. And when Subriel Matias lost, who he lose to? Liam Parrow. A guy who can box, a guy who can punch. So, honestly, the only thing that I can tell you I didn't see it coming, because I'd be lying if I say that, is the knockout. I didn't know. I didn't even consider the possibility of a knockout. I felt like, Subriel can take a shot. Dalton can take a shot. This thing is going the distance. But I had Dalton Smith winning it. You guys know that. For sure. And it was fun. It was fun to watch it with the fellas and everybody's doing their trash talking. There was a lot of trash talking going on yesterday, man. And I told people, Dalton Smith is gonna beat the coquí out of Subriel Matias. And you saw it. You saw it, my peoples. Another prediction in the books. I mean, at some point, I guess I have to get one wrong at some point. I think I'm gonna have to get one wrong on purpose just to say I got it wrong. And by the way, because sometimes everybody knows who's gonna win. Like when it's a heavy favorite, everybody knows the heavy favorite is gonna win. The tough predictions to make is when it's the underdog. It's when it's the guy who's not supposed to win. It's when it's the guy who everybody thinks is gonna get cooked. And that was the case with Dalton Smith. People thought he was gonna get cooked. I didn't. I didn't think he was gonna get cooked. But man, listen. Now we're gonna get, or it looks like we're probably gonna get Dalton Smith versus Alberto Puello. I know that's what they had said before. That Dalton Smith, that the winner of this fight was going to fight Alberto Puello. You guys remember that Puello went to a split decision with Subriel Matias, and a lot of people felt like he won. And, boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. So now you're going to have people saying, well, Dalton Smith is going to knock out Alberto Puello. But remember, styles make fights. And because of that, Alberto Puello and Dalton Smith is going to be a heck of a fight. It's going to play out differently because Puello doesn't fight like Subriel Matias. He has a different style, obviously. But it looks like we're going to get that, my peoples. Alberto Puello versus Dalton Smith. The former champion trying to regain his title. Check it, my people. Let me show you how it's over here right now. Look. It's crowded at the airport, my people. Trying to get in this plane, man, so I can sit down and rest my damn feet. Age is 17, like with Crawford and Canelo and Spence too. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think that Crawford versus Canelo is probably one of my best predictions ever. Like, I've had a lot of real good predictions, but I think that's one of my best predictions ever. simply because, the weight classes for a reason. Bud moving up the way that he did. People expected him to get knocked out. The whole way that situation played out, I think that it has to be one of my best predictions. So look, Crawford versus Arrow. That was a great prediction. You guys know.
Pregunta, ¿dónde empieza la fila?
Allá atrás, dele. Camine por ahí, suavecito. The Crawford versus Arrow prediction, to me, that's one of the best ones too. Simply because you guys remember, the whole Arrow's too big, Crawford is too small. Crawford's not gonna be able to hold them back, keep them off of him, all that stuff. But I gotta tell you what, for Crawford versus Arrow, it's one of my best predictions because obviously so many people felt like Arrow was gonna win that fight. But honestly, that was an easy prediction for me to make. I made that prediction early, like 3 months before the fight. I made that prediction. By the way, my people, those of you tuning in, salute. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Check it, man. I'm at the airport right now. Look. I'm at the airport, my people, about to catch this flight. But we could not miss the episode of Boxing for Breakfast. We still got to be here. It don't matter if we at the airport, if we traveling. West does it. Arrow looked unstoppable before that. I thought Crawford would outbox him all 12 though. I would say Crawford versus Arrow to me was an easy prediction to make because I just felt comfortable with Crawford being able to outbox him. I felt comfortable with that. But this prediction right here, Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith, I actually made it the day before the fight. The day before the fight. Very tough prediction to make. Why? Because now you guys know what I saw in Dalton Smith and why I felt like he's so nice. But it was a tough prediction to make because we never seen him face somebody that's going to apply the pressure like that. That's going to be constant. That's going to be all over him. And that's what Subriel Matias was on. So just try to imagine a guy like Dalton Smith who never fought for a title, never faced a championship caliber type of fighter, and he's stepping in there with Subriel Matias, and I still bet on him. I still had him win. There was that question, like, damn, can he handle the pressure for that amount of time? There was that question. But ultimately, I decided, you know what? This guy's ready. Ready to handle the pressure, ready to apply it too. Irvin Mack, like button smashed. Salute, my brother. Appreciate it, man. My people's is 2026. No more ghost watching. No more sneak hating. Hit that like, man. Don't think about it too much. Plus, I gave you guys the illest prediction this year so far. By the way, I am already, 100% prediction rate for 2026. 100% prediction rate. Haven't got one wrong yet. Daniel Negron. Subriel looked drained. And Don looks strong. But here's the interesting thing about that comment, my brother. I was talking to Chosen One yesterday who was live at the event, and I asked him, I was like, yo, does Subriel look weight drained? And he was like, nah. We seen him in person. He looks strong. He looks like he's gonna get a knockout. He got a knockout, all right. but I would have to say this is one of the biggest upsets that we've seen recently. Dalton Smith. Y'all should have been listening to me. Net Bennett, Eubanks look drained. Age of 17. Then you, Crawford, as well as Zab training Gleason's. So Zab Judah did training Gleason's. I got to meet him. When I started training in Gleason's, Zab was like 14, 15 and 0, something like that. But not Crawford, maybe Crawford, not maybe, I seen him. I know he's gone to Gleason's, but he's never trained out of that gym. Like, that's never been his gym where he trains in. And it's actually pretty common, fighters, when they go to New York, that they go to Gleason's. If they're gonna fight in New York, some of that training camp, they might spar in Gleason's. But nah, Bud is always trained out of Omaha, out of Nebraska. Net Bennett, I thought Junto lost. Look, man, Junto Nakatani was in the fight of his life. And that fight could have honestly went either way. I felt like they could have gifted him a draw. He didn't win that fight in my eyes. I didn't see him winning that. But I gotta tell you guys, Dalton Smith already showed that he's a problem. That's it. He's a world champion. World champion Dalton Smith. Irvin Mack, I was watching close, but I didn't think Matias will fall to Smith. Man, listen, I understand why, because Subriel Matias, we all know what he does. We all know the type of fighter that he is. But ultimately, remember that I'm telling you this, and I said it before the fight. I said the difference here, I said the difference here is that Subriel Matias has that one gear. That's it. We all know what he's going to do. He's going to do the same thing over and over. He's going to apply the pressure. But what happens when you're facing an opponent who can handle the pressure? What happens when you're facing an opponent who's going to counterpunch you, who's going to land more punches? Because that's the one thing we didn't expect. Subriel Matias was applying the pressure, but who was throwing more punches? Dalton Smith was throwing and landing more punches. Ned, people didn't know Dalton Smith like us. I see his power and killer instinct the first time I seen him. Yo, listen. This is what I realized. A lot of boxing fans, they need a fighter to prove himself. Like, until you don't beat somebody, you are nobody. I don't need a fighter to prove himself, to know how good he is. Dalton Smith, he ain't never faced a world champion, but I've seen his skills. I've seen him get hit with real good shots and counter, boom, come back right back. And I was like, nah, that's why I made that prediction, my peoples. The difference in versatility. You have a Subriel Matias that's going to keep going forward and keep throwing punches, apply that pressure. But then you have a Dalton Smith that can do it going forward, that can do it going back, using that lateral movement. Counter punching is crazy. And another thing that I said yesterday, and you guys saw it during the fight, I said Dalton Smith has the better footwork, and he's going to do a better job of controlling the distance. He's gonna set Subriel up as he's trying to get on the inside, and he's gonna be landing teeing off on him. And that's exactly what we saw. We saw Dalton Smith that was actually ready for that pressure. On Lace is in the building. Salute, my brother. Bam. You already know, man. Yesterday, everybody said Subriel Matias was going to knock out Dalton Smith. They didn't want to listen to my prediction. I try to tell them, bro. I try to tell them. Try to tell everybody. Dalton Smith is for real. I don't think you're going to underestimate him going forward. Taking into account that he's a world champion now. There you have it. Dalton Smith, my peoples, is a world champion. And, yo, Eddie Hearn looks so happy out there. You could see him celebrating like, yo, that's his guy. That's one of his guys. So, another prediction in the books, my peoples. Let me show y'all where I'm at, man. Crowded like hell out here. Look at this. So there you have it, my peoples. Can't wait to get to the plane just so I can sit down. My feet are killing me. Danny on the ground, Eddie Hearn out here ruining PR boxers. Berlanga and now Subriel. Damn, man. Eddie Hearn is the Puerto Rican killer. On Lace. I seen you cooking. Round 1 channel last night. You know how we do it, my brother. Wherever we at, that's what we do. We cooking. And salute to my brothers. Bam. Salute to my Puerto Rican brothers from Round Table Talk. Fresh Promotions. They killing it. Chosen One. Salute my brother. Camachito was in the building too. And listen, bro, I know my Puerto Rican brothers was disappointed with yesterday with that main event because all the Puerto Rican fighters won except Subriel Matias. They were like, we 4-0, we 4-0, and Subriel is going to bring it home. Subriel going to bring it. I told him. I told him Subriel was going to get cooked. Look, I got to be honest, man. At some point, I got to get it wrong. I can't just keep getting this shit right. At some point, and I'm going to tell you something funny, guys. If you've been following me long enough, then you know I'll be hitting them predictions, right? At some point, I can't get it right forever. At some point, when I do miss a prediction, yo, y'all gonna see people raining on me. It's like I never hit one right. Oh, you don't know shit. You got exposed. At this point, yo, I promise you, there's people that's waiting for me to miss, waiting for me to get it wrong. Somebody hit me up and told me, yo, Jay, this is gonna be your first wrong prediction. Dalton Smith got no chance against Subriel Matias. Golly. Net, it was a lot of mismatches, a.k.a. cherry picks last night. Yeah, we see some cherry picks for sure. It was some cherry picks. But it was also some good fights, some good competitive fights. Good competitive fights, too. And look, most of all, and most importantly, it was a great night of boxing. Because when that happens, yo, the promoters win, the fighters win, the fans, we win. We get that action. So, I want to see what's next. We already know, hasn't been announced officially, but the expectations are that Dalton Smith is going to fight Alberto Puello. Those are the expectations. Let me move this thing. My peoples, we almost there, man. We almost there. Look. Almost there, man. Yo, listen. This is an excruciating trip, my peoples. I left from my house. They picked me up to bring me to the airport at 2 in the morning. We got to the airport, we waiting to get in the plane. But from here to Salvador, we're gonna take 2 flights. We're gonna get to El Salvador, I don't know, like at 2 in the afternoon or some shit like that. So imagine from 2 in the morning that I left my house to 2 in the afternoon. That's how long it's gonna take us to get there. Camp, or the winner of Tio versus Shakur. And I was actually talking about that. On yesterday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast, we spoke about that. Subriel Matias, Dalton Smith, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, the 2 winners, fight each other. Oh, shit. My peoples, I'm going to have to leave. Look. No cameras on this side. They're going to... At some point, somebody's going to tell me, nah, you got to turn that camera off. And I'm going to be like, nah, but I recorded myself. They're going to be like, yeah, but we don't care. You still got to turn that shit off. So y'all already know, my people, this live, just in case, it might finish real soon. Lee Mercado, Subriel lack of defense or head movement caused him to fight. Passport? Yeah, I got it right here. Gotta be ready, my people. And I agree with you. That's something that I said yesterday. And before that Sobriel's lack of defense was going to be a factor. He takes a lot of punches. And then he had a guy in front of him that throws a lot of punches. Here we go, my peoples. Yo, my feet are killing me, man. I'm dying to sit down, y'all. On JSmiff, you coming to the States? Not yet, brother. Not yet, but I'm working on it. Not yet. Next, siguiente. Nueve, ok. Saludos. Sí, señor. El Salvador. A trabajar. Disculpa. El jueves de la semana que viene. ¿Ah? Somos 3. Puedo buscarlo, que él está en otro cubículo, que él tiene. Oh, no, my people. Y Carlos. Oye, y Carlos, yo necesito mostrar el vuelo de regreso y no lo encuentro.
Ya no salió, velo ayer.
¿Tú lo ves? Oh, Carlos, el vuelo. ¿Y el vuelo? Que me están pidiendo el vuelo de regreso. Ah, ¿ten el papelito que le dieron?
O sea, yo no tengo de regreso, yo no tengo de ir.
Pues déjame decirle, ¿eh? Pues eso es lo que yo tengo, maestro, yo no sé. Porque mire qué pasa, eso es la empresa que lo maneja, eso yo no sé.
Pero yo no lo puedo despachar sin él salir. ¿Cómo lo hacemos?
Pero al compañero, que yo como dije, el compañero mío lo despacharon y tenemos lo mismo, déjame ver.
El vuelo de retorno y la reserva de los
En el hotel sí tengo la reserva.
Ah, sí, la reserva del hotel, sí.
No me lo enviaron.
¿Cómo te lo despachan si por el retorno? Súper.
Oh my God, now we got problems. We're gonna have to write to Juana. Write to Juana right now.
Ellos andan juntos, no tienen el vuelo de retorno. Solamente tienen la reserva del hotel por ahí que lo despacharon.
O sea, ¿tú no tienes dos boletos? Al Salvador.
Pero yo no entiendo cómo que no tenemos boleto de retorno. That doesn't even
O sea,
make sense.
sí tenemos vuelo de retorno. Actually, sí, yo lo tengo. Yo tengo, lo que no tengo impreso, pero sí lo tengo, ahora que lo pienso. Pero no impreso. Sí, impreso.
Cónchale. Yo sé que tienen que estar ahí porque la empresa no lo va a mandar para allá para dejarme allá.
No está impreso, pero. El 15. No me lo pidieron en realidad. Para la persona. Yo paso por aquí por la 1, me mandan para el 24 y me mandan derecho. Se ve está ahí.
Lo. Sí. Ella está ver en esta. A ver si ahora me anda.
Disculpa. Trabajo. No a trabajar, un entrenamiento y lo está pagando la empresa. No es a trabajar directamente allá. Sí, que no va. No va. No, no a trabajar que vamos. Vamos por un viaje de la empresa, pero no a trabajar.
Bueno,
No, yo estaba en la 20, en la 1 a la 24.
Llévalo a él mismo a hacer el ticket a la 24.
Ok.
está bien. Gracias, maestro.
Gracias.
Siguiente, la 9.
Oh, vela allá abajo, está all the way at the bottom. Guys, man, there was a little misunderstanding. A la 24. Ah, pero del otro lado, yo creo. No, pero me dijeron. Okay, but the guy said for us to go to 24, that's why. Smith, you coming to the stage? Not yet, not yet. My people, look. Look at this guy. So, a mí mismo no puedo, ¿no? A mí mismo no puedo. Está bien, está bien. My people, I gotta end the live. They told me that I gotta cut it off. So I'll be back live later when we leave this area. I'll see you guys in a few, y'all.